Confucianism is a philosophy based on the teachings of Confucius, who is an important Chinese philosopher. Today, Confucianism has spread around the world, but is still more relevant in China. The teachings of Confucius are largely focused on the respect of one's parents, elders, and ancestors. Confucianism is often characterized as a system of social and ethical philosophy rather than a religion. In fact, Confucianism built on ancient religious foundation to establish the social values, institutions, and transcendent ideas of traditional Chinese society. There are four main symbols that represent the beliefs and views of Confucianism. These include Confucius himself, the Chinese character for water, the Chinese character for scholar, and the yin-yang. Book of Documents, a collection of documents and speeches allegedly written by rulers of the early Zhou period and before. It may possibly be the oldest Chinese narrative and may date back as far as 6 BC. And there's also the Book of Rites. It describes the ancient rites, social forms, and court ceremonies. The version that is studied today has been redone by scholars that lived in the 3rd century BC. The original text was said to have already been edited by Confucius himself. The 5 virtues are a part of Confucius philosophy. They consist of Ren, the virtue of benevolence, charity, and humanity; Yi, of honesty and uprightness; Zi, of knowledge; Zin, the virtue of faithfulness and integrity; and Li, correct behavior or property, good manners, politeness, ceremony, and worship.
Confucianism was developed around 541 to 479 BC in ancient China. The founder was Master Kong and was later given the title Confucius, and although not known by many, his principles began in the Zhou dynasty, which was a time period just before his birth. The philosophy in ancient China before Confucius' time was based mainly on spiritual matters used to unite the people and prevent rebellion against the ancient Chinese government. Confucius' philosophy, however, was based not on spiritual matter, but rather ethics and human interaction with the intent to make society more civil. This new philosophy did not fully take grasp until the Han Dynasty, which was 140 to 87 BC. In Confucianism, there is no god, gods, or goddesses, but there still is a belief in greater force/power, which is sometimes referred to as heaven. Regardless, Confucius never claimed to be more than a human, and to his followers was regarded simply as a great teacher. Since there is no great focus on spiritual aspects in Confucianism, followers of the religion put their focus towards human relationships, morals, and ethics. The religion of Confucianism has several sacred texts which act as a guide and helps to shape the state of the religion to which it is today. The Lun Yu, also known as the more universal name, the Analects, is included in the sacred text of Confucianism. The Analects was written in 475 to 221 BC by second-generation Confucian followers, who scribed down the ideologies on ethics and personal responsibilities from Confucius himself. Another group of scripture that has also been regarded as the foundation or fundamentals of Confucianism are the 5 classics. They were compiled and edited by Confucius himself and are comprised of 5 books. The Book of Documents, which discusses the events of ancient China; the Book of Odes, comprised of 305 poems about love, marriage, and war; the Book of Rites, which discusses the social norms, ritual conduct, and governmental organization of ancient China; the Book of Changes, which possesses a system of divination; and the Spring and Autumn Annual, which is much like the Book of Documents, but instead was created to be analyzed by Confucius. In Confucianism, there are no official titles that most people of Western religions are familiar with, such as priest or pastor. A more common term used is leader. These leaders were often academically experienced and had spent years analyzing sacred scripture. In ancient China, a person with high knowledge of Confucianism would often be found in a government position. There are also many schools and branches of Confucianism, such as Zisi and Mencius, which are part of early Confucianism, Toju Nakia, Hayeshi Razan, which are Japanese Confucius, Hui Hog, which is Korean Confucianism, Chu Von An, Vietnamese Confucianism, and Zhu Dian, which is Neo-Confucianism.